Hi, this is Jack speaking. With regards to self-honesty and self-dishonesty, understand that in terms of our specific focus on self-honesty in every moment is a tool. Our starting point of this entire existence, of this entire world, has been self-dishonesty. And we have, according to self-dishonesty, manifested this world and the experience in which we are experiencing ourselves, according to that specific starting point of self-dishonesty, of self-separation. We're saying self-honesty and focusing in every moment as yourself is to merely have a tool to assist and support you in the process of self-realization. Thus, self-honesty is a tool. Self-honesty in application in every moment. To make sure that you are not in self-dishonesty with you. And so self-intimacy will progress in the manifestation of yourself and as yourself. So you become self-intimate with you, as you. For instance, an example would be, Vino recently described that heaven, in a year's process of heaven, where we had been self-dishonest, and we manifested and experienced that self-dishonesty. Where were we dishonest with ourselves? In not allowing ourselves to, we perceived that we didn't want to unconditionally participate in the forgiveness processes because we were like, what if, and maybe, and the doubts, uncertainties and concerns aroused, when instead of being honest with ourselves and realizing that we were afraid and scared of doing the forgiveness processes and going through all those processes and committing ourselves and dedicating ourselves to ourselves completely, because we feared losing ourselves and we feared giving up the dimensions, because we have defined the dimensions according to ourselves and according to who we are. So what happened is, understand that the experience of you as life, of oneness and equality, where you prove you to yourself, comes like a thief in the night. And after a year's process, that very moment came for all in the dimensions as one together. That step into the absolute standing of who you are, of oneness and equality as life. And when that moment arrived, we fell. Because everything that we had done in that year, we did not do with self-honesty in every moment, and we deceived ourselves, because the truth of the matter was that during that year we didn't do everything 100% for ourselves, because we feared losing the dimensions and losing our identity and our self-definition according to the dimensions and who we perceived and believed ourselves to be. So thus we fell extensively, and it's now been another year and a half, and we're still in the consequential flow of events because of that because of that fall, and because of what we allowed in that starting point. So it's quite extensive if you fall and you know that you have been dishonest with yourself, and therefore missed the opportunity of yourself to experience yourself as all, as one, as equal, as life, as who you are. Thus, for instance, today we started over once again, completely from scratch, because our starting point was again not clear, of self-honesty, oneness and equality, and so we're starting again. So we're basically almost starting over each and every single day now, because it's becoming more extensive, because everything that's been compounded now, you kind of see already in like a day where your starting point is. If it's not in self-honesty, you fall and you have to start over again. So instead of it going on like a year and then only realizing, oh shit, and then you fall, only after a year discovering that your starting point has been of dishonesty, it now happens every day, which is much better. I prefer that rather than, going an entire year and then finding out, oh, damn it. So you'll notice the difference between self-honesty and self-dishonesty in the experience of yourself in your world. And it's mainly the sign would be feelings, emotions, and thoughts. If all those start compounding and you become frustrated, or old memories come forth, or future events start popping up in your mind, etc., if that starts compounding, you know that you have to start over again, because your starting point of your forgiveness, of self-forgiveness and of self-application hasn't been effective in the moment. My suggestion would be to in any way start again every single day. Start over. Just wipe out yesterday. Begin the next day clear, as though during the evening you died and you're waking up again the next morning alive, complete clean slate, and you just start again. And so you have a clear, fresh starting point of oneness and equality every single morning. Remember, it's in the morning. It's like the day, and so you progress. So each day is the opportunity for you to make sure that your application is of the starting point of self-honesty. So if your starting point the morning you wake up is not of self-honesty, of self-dishonesty, your day, the entire day, will be experienced according to your starting point. So therefore it's now taken day by day. So therefore, between self-honesty and self-dishonesty, you'll notice it according to the experience of yourself during the day. Whether your starting point was self-honesty or self-dishonesty. Thank you very much. This is Jack.